Hello, friends. What if I told you that real change doesn't come from motivation, but from something much smaller? This is Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that's quietly transformed millions of lives, not through overnight breakthroughs, but through the power of tiny habits. The idea is simple. If you improve just 1% every day, those small wins compound. And over time, they lead to massive transformation. Clear doesn't just teach how to build better habits. He teaches how to become someone who lives them naturally, through identity, through systems, through smart design. This isn't about forcing discipline. It's about setting up your life so that good choices become effortless. In the next chapters, you'll discover how small routines shape big results, why environment beats motivation, and how habits can change, not just what you do, but who you become. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or inconsistent, this journey is for you. Because the change you want, it starts with one small decision, one habit, one step. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Compound Effect of Tiny Habits. Imagine this: if you improve just 1% every day, you don't become 365% better. You become 37 times better. That's not motivation. That's math. James Clear calls this the power of compound growth, the core of atomic habits. Habits are like compound interest. Tiny actions, repeated daily, add up, quietly at first, then explosively. He shares the story of the British cycling team. They hadn't won a Tour de France in over 100 years. Then a new coach introduced small upgrades, better seats, cleaner uniforms, even custom pillows for better sleep. Individually, nothing looked groundbreaking. But together, they started winning, over and over again. That's the secret. Small improvements stack. Tiny habits compound, but it works both ways. Miss one workout? No big deal. Miss for a month? Now you feel it. Success and failure are both built, one small step at a time. Lesson: don't chase massive change. Find the smallest possible win and repeat it. Because every action you take is a vote for the person you're becoming. Moving to Chapter 2. Identity. Motivation. Most people start with goals. I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. I want to make more money. But James Clear says that's the wrong starting point, because goals don't stick. If your identity stays the same, you can follow a diet. But if you still see yourself as undisciplined, you'll quit. You can go to the gym. But if deep down you believe you're lazy, it won't last. True change begins with identity. Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Let that sink in. It's not about doing the thing, it's about becoming the person who does it. For example, I'm trying to quit smoking. I'm not a smoker. One is behavior-based. The other is identity-based. That difference is everything. Want to be a writer? Write one sentence. You're now someone who writes. Want to be healthy? Drink a glass of water. You're someone who chooses health. The more you act like the person you want to become, the more your brain believes it. Motivation fades, but identity, that lasts. Next is Chapter 3. Your environment shapes you. We love to believe that success comes from willpower, that if we just try harder, we'll change. But James Clear says otherwise. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your system begins with your environment. Let me show you. In a hospital cafeteria, researchers made one simple change. They moved bottled water to the front of the fridge. That's it. Water sales increased by 25%. Soda sales dropped, without a single motivational poster. Why? Because environment drives behavior. It's not about discipline. It's about what surrounds you. Want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to eat healthier? Put fruit where you can see it. Want to work out? Lay out your shoes the night before. Because what's easy gets done. Your brain takes the path of least resistance. So design your space to support the habits you want. Make good habits obvious. Make bad habits invisible. You don't need more willpower. You need better setup. Control your environment, and it will start to control your future in the best way. And hey, if you're loving this book so far, please like, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to Fraser AudioBooks Club for bold, life-changing summaries every week. We've got so much more to uncover. Chapter 4. Habit Stacking and Anchoring. Want to build a new habit that actually sticks? Don't rely on motivation. Rely on something stronger, your existing routine. This is the power of habit stacking. James Clear explains it like this. After current habit, I will new habit. Simple? Yes, but incredibly powerful. For example, after I make my morning coffee, I'll write one sentence. After I brush my teeth, I'll stretch for 30 seconds. After I close my laptop, I'll reflect for 1 minute. You're not trying to find more time. You're simply attaching a new behavior to something you already do. Why does it work? Because your current habits are already wired into your brain, and when you connect a new habit to an old one, you build a chain, a rhythm, a script your brain can follow on autopilot. This removes friction. It removes forgetting. It removes resistance. You don't need to force the habit. You just follow the flow. Look at your day. What's already automatic? That's your anchor. Stack the next habit right after it, and watch consistency become effortless. Stack small, repeat often, and grow stronger, one routine at a time. Chapter 5. The 2-minute rule. Let's be honest. The hardest part of any habit is starting. That first rep, that first sentence, that first step out the door. James Clear gives us a tool to beat this, the 2-minute rule. Here's how it works. Whatever habit you're trying to build, start by doing it for just 2 minutes. Want to run? Just put on your shoes and step outside. Want to read? Just open the book and read 1 page. Want to meditate? Just sit in silence for 2 minutes. That's it. Because the goal here isn't perfection. It's momentum. A habit must be established before it can be improved. Once you're in motion, everything becomes easier. 2 minutes becomes 5. 1 page becomes a chapter. That short walk turns into a workout. This rule removes pressure. It removes overthinking. And it teaches your brain to focus on starting, not finishing. Remember, you don't need to be amazing. You just need to begin. Chapter 6. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Every habit begins with a cue. What you see triggers what you do. So if you want a habit to stick, make the cue obvious. Want to read more? Place a book on your pillow. Want to work out? Put your gym shoes by the door. Want to floss? Put the floss right next to your toothbrush. The easier it is to see, the more likely you'll do it. But visibility isn't enough. You also need to make the habit attractive. James Clear introduces a brilliant idea, temptation bundling, pairing something you need to do with something you enjoy. Listen to your favorite podcast only while exercising. Treat yourself to a warm tea after journaling. Watch your favorite show, but only after cooking a healthy meal. When a habit feels good, your brain craves it, and what gets craved gets repeated. So instead of forcing change, design your habits to pull you in. Make the cue obvious, make the action enjoyable, and motivation takes care of itself. If this chapter sparked something in you, Chapter 7. Make it easy, make it satisfying. Let's face it, if a habit is difficult to start, your brain will resist it, and if it doesn't feel good, you won't come back to it. That's why James Clear gives us 2 more golden rules. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. First, reduce friction. Break big goals into tiny steps. Don't start by saying, "I'll work out 5 days a week." Start with, "I'll do 5 push-ups today." Don't try to cook complex meals every night. Start by chopping veggies once a week. Make starting so easy. You can't say no, then make it satisfying. Reward the action. Check it off your list. Say, "Yes, I did it." Track your progress on an app or calendar, because the brain is wired to repeat what feels good. Even a simple dopamine hit from crossing off a task is enough to reinforce the habit. So don't wait to feel amazing. Create small wins and celebrate them, because repetition isn't driven by discipline, it's driven by reward. If this helped you simplify your habits, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Fraser AudioBooks Club. We've got 3 powerful chapters left, and they're game changers. Moving to Chapter 8, Never Miss Twice. Nobody's perfect. You're going to miss a workout, forget to meditate, slip up on your diet. It happens. But here's what matters most: what you do. Next, James Clear gives us a simple rule: never miss twice. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice becomes a pattern. Let's say you oversleep and skip the gym. No problem. Life happens. But if you say, "Well, I already blew it," and skip again tomorrow, that's how habits break. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to recover fast. Clear tells the story of a guitarist. He practiced every day. One day he missed, but the next day he picked it back up, even for just 5 minutes. Why? Because he wasn't practicing for perfection. He was practicing for consistency. That mindset makes all the difference. So the next time you fall off track, don't wait for Monday. Don't start over next month. Just show up. Today. Even for 2 minutes. Because your habits don't die when you fail. They die when you stop returning. Never miss twice. Chapter 9. Track it or lose it. Here's a truth most people ignore. What gets tracked gets repeated. James Clear says habit tracking isn't just a productivity trick. It's a powerful psychological tool. Why? Because when you see progress, you feel momentum. And when you feel momentum, you keep going. Think of a calendar. You mark an X for every day you complete a habit. 1 day becomes 2. A week becomes a streak. And now, you don't want to break it. Clear calls this visual feedback, and it works because your brain craves closure. He shares the story of a man who used 2 jars and paper clips. One jar had 100 clips. Each time he finished a sales call, he moved 1 clip over. That tiny action made the habit real, tangible, trackable. It's not about fancy apps or perfect stats. It's about proof. Every mark says, "I'm doing it. I'm becoming who I said I would." So whatever your habit is, start tracking it. Use a notebook. Use your phone. Use sticky notes. Just make it visible. Make it real. Because if you don't track it, you'll likely forget it. Ready for last chapter 10. Build identity, not just outcomes. Most people chase goals, lose 10 pounds, make 6 figures, write a book. And while goals are important, they're not enough. James Clear warns, if you only focus on outcomes, you risk losing everything once the goal is achieved. Why? Because you didn't change who you are. You just hit a number. You ran a marathon, but didn't become a runner. You finished the book, but didn't become a writer. And that's the danger. The real goal isn't achievement. It's identity. Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. So don't just aim to finish the project. Aim to become someone who creates. Don't just want to save money. Become someone who's financially wise. Each habit, no matter how small, is a vote. Cast enough of them, and the identity sticks, because habits aren't just tools for change. They're how we build who we are. So stop chasing numbers. Start building the version of you that lasts. If this chapter hit home, like this video, share it with someone who's building a new version of themselves and subscribe to Fraser AudioBooks for more bold ideas that change lives. So now you've heard it all. 10 lessons, 1 mission, to help you change your habits, and in doing so, change your life. Because Atomic Habits isn't just a book about productivity. It's a blueprint for identity. It's a reminder that greatness isn't built in a day. It's built in small decisions, repeated daily. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a life overhaul. You need one small win, then another, then another. That's how transformation happens. So whatever habit you're trying to build, start small, stay consistent, and cast one more vote for the future you're meant to live, because in the end, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits, and now, you know how to raise that level, one habit at a time. If this journey helped you think deeper, act smarter, or feel stronger, please like, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to Fraser AudioBooks Club. Until next time, live bold, grow daily, and keep becoming.